How often do you find yourself trying to work on a project, finish an edit last minute, or even just start an edit and you just can't? Chances are you have a long list of things you need to accomplish today even, but you're sitting here watching this video instead. You don't have the motivation and the willpower to get yourself to work effectively at whatever it is you're trying to work on. To fix this, a lot of people will go through an entire pot of coffee or try to use energy drinks to get themselves to work.
What did I pay for this?
But neither a cup of coffee or a Red Bull work to the extent that you really want them to. So let's look at the science behind why that is. Both a strong cup of coffee and a Red Bull have roughly the same effect. The main factor that gives you this boost in concentration and energy is the chemical called caffeine. A Red Bull tends to have about 80 milligrams of caffeine, while a 16-ounce coffee has about 150. Caffeine works by blocking the effects of adenosine, a brain chemical involved in sleep. When caffeine blocks A1, it causes the neurons in the brain to fire. Thinking the body is in an emergency, the pituitary glands initiate the body's fight or flight response by releasing adrenaline. This hormone makes the heartbeat faster and the eyes dilate. It also causes the liver to release extra sugar into the bloodstream for energy. Caffeine also affects the levels of dopamine, a chemical in the brain's pleasure center. Dopamine, however, is not very affected by the effects of caffeine. I just said affected a lot. In comparison to the subjects of today's video at least, exercise. Yes, I know drinking a tall coffee is way easier than getting yourself to the gym to exercise. But hear me out. The benefits are so much stronger. Quite literally, actually. What if I told you that you could grow your brain? Studies have suggested that the part of the brain that controls thinking and memory, the prefrontal cortex and the medial temporal cortex, lots of brain names, have greater volume in people who exercise versus people who don't. Again, exercising regularly, to put this into English, can contribute to growth in the part of your brain that controls thinking and memory. That sounds pretty useful to me. Obviously, you guys know the benefits of exercising on your body, lowering the risks of a bunch of diseases, making you look better, and most importantly, feel healthier. Along with feeling healthier, it contributes in a huge way to your mental health. When you exercise, your brain releases the chemical we were talking about earlier, dopamine, and that contributes to happiness and lowers your stress levels. Physical activity stresses our brain similarly to how it works our muscles. Neurons break down, then recover and become stronger and more resilient. And not only does it help with all that, it gives you an energy boost similar to a tall coffee, but with a much longer lasting effect. Let's talk about that. So I know I've been jumping around a bit, so let's talk about the energy boost that you get from working out and why exercising can be so much more effective than a cup of coffee. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain, which in turn can improve your alertness by up to 40%. More nerve cells fire when we're exercising than when we're doing anything else. This activates the brain as a whole. It turns on the attention, the frontal cortex, and a bunch more that none of you actually care about. Among these neurotransmitters are something, which sparks attention, perception, motivation, and serotonin, which directs traffic, influencing mood, impulsivity, anger, aggression, and dopamine, which we've already talked about, well, makes you happier. And while this all sounds wonderful, how does that compare to a cup of coffee per se? Well, the effects of caffeine in an energy drink or a coffee tend to last an average of 3 to 6 hours, while the effects of a workout on the function of your brain last an average of 12 hours. That's almost twice as long. And I know I sound like a salesman for a gym, but guys, I found the one thing that makes me more productive than anything else is getting a workout in before I start my day. So I want to challenge you guys to try it with me for the month of March. Send me a DM on Instagram, I'll start a new group, and I'll send you guys an easy workout you can do in about 30 minutes at home every morning. I'll send one 5 days a week, and let's see how much more productive you are. Seriously, if you don't believe me, try it with me. It doesn't cost you anything, and it can really benefit you. Anyway, at the end of the month, I'm making a video on exactly what I do to work out, and I will need those of you who join me in this challenge to help out. So seriously, I need your guys' help. Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. This has been Echo Productions. I'm Silas Wilby, and I'll see you in the next one.